Hi, good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here today on such short notice. We are going to have a very quick overview of the self-direction COLA updates. I'm just doing this morning just an entry and hello, and then I will be handing this over to Christine Carey. But today's presentation is going to be short. There's not going to be a Q&A function for this morning. We are going to be issuing an FAQ in the very near future. So please, if you have questions, you'll see on the next slide that the questions should be going to, I think it's a self-direction COLA website. Jason, if you could go to the next slide, please. So like I said, if you need to change your audio connection, click the three dots at the bottom of your screen. Please use the SD COLA mailbox for questions. And of course, this is being recorded and we're going to have this available to you for review afterwards. The WebEx information, the recording, and the FAQ will be coming out shortly. So without further ado, I will pass it to Christine Carey.
Thanks, Angela. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Self-Direction COLA Update webinar. As Angela stated, my name is Christine Carey. I'm the Associate Commissioner for the Division of Fiscal Policy and Management. The purpose of today's WebEx is to follow up on our March 20th webinar regarding the implementation of the 5.4% retroactive COLA. We will today provide you with updates on the process, provide a summary of recent and pending communications that have been issued, and then provide an overview of the timelines related to implementation. Next slide, please. So in terms of information that's been available to you to date, we have the March 20th webinar, which was titled Self-Direction 5.4% COLA Implementation, and that's available for review on the SLMS. The new budget template was issued on June 2nd, and this version of the budget template contained important updates, which included the 4% cost of living increase applied to the personal resource account, the updated cap for the maximum support broker rate, and the updated housing subsidy payment standards that were consistent with the April 1st, 2023 HUD fair market rent. Also distributed on June 2nd, 2023 was the updated support broker agreement template, which accommodates the updated maximum support broker rate. Later this week, as early as today and early into next week, we're going to distribute the following documents to assist you in this process: an FAQ on the 5.4% COLA, the support broker attestation, and the self-hired staff survey. The FAQ is going to answer questions that were presented in the March 20th webinar, but since we've made some changes to the implementation process, it will also answer some of the anticipated questions related to those changes. As we go through the updated process in the remainder of this presentation, we'll provide you with additional details on the support broker attestation and the self-hired staff survey. Next slide, please. So just to level set with everyone on the COLA implementation plan, if you recall, on the March 20th webinar, we announced our intent to allow the retroactive reimbursement for the 5.4% COLA for fiscal intermediary fees, support broker fees, and self-hired staff. While we hadn't finalized the process, our intent was to use a survey for both the support broker and the self-hired staff in order to understand an individual's choice regarding increases in the support broker rates and self-hired wages. This information would have then been used to make the retroactive payments. After that webinar, OPWDD received a lot of questions and feedback regarding allowing sufficient time for the surveys and the workload that would be involved in the process. Based on that feedback, we took a step back and reviewed the process to determine if there were ways in which we could streamline it to maintain the same results, but allow the fiscal intermediaries and support brokers more time to focus on necessary budget amendments while also allowing additional time to complete the survey. As a result of that review, we revised the process as follows. And if you remember the last time, we talked about it in three different areas, and we'll discuss them separately this time too. So the first area we're going to talk about are the fiscal intermediary fees. So there is going to be no change to the way the fiscal intermediary fee adjustments are handled. The FI fee will be adjusted for the period of April 1st, 2022 through March 31st, 2023 based on actual billings and will be paid with offline payments. There have been 2 payments made to date, and the third and final will be forthcoming in July when the 90-day billing window has been expired for March services. It should be noted that since once the 4/1/23 rates are loaded, these fees will automatically be adjusted and updated through the eMedNey billing process, and there will be no additional offline payments. The biggest change in our process is related to the support broker fees. Since over 99% of support broker claims are paid at the current cap, or the previous cap of $40 per hour, OPWD is going to eliminate the survey for this service. What we're going to do is we're going to pay a retroactive 5.4% COLA to the FI for all support broker claims for the period April 1, 2022 through September 30th, 2023. In place of the survey, OPWD is going to require an attestation from the FI that they will work with the individual to determine their choice. And where an individual does not choose to increase the support broker fee, the FI will then, after the fact, return the funds to OPWDD. The benefit of this process is that it provides 2 months for the FI to review and return the attestation, and then 3 months after the payment of the funds for the FI to distribute them and determine how much, if any, needs to be returned to OPWDD. This provides a much larger window of time for the FI to work with the individuals and understand their choice. It should be noted, however, that there will be no state funding after September 30th, 2023 for the 5.4% COLA. So in order to maintain the increase in the budget where an individual chooses, it's the responsibility of the FI to ensure a budget amendment is approved in time so there are no gaps in the 5.4% COLA. And we'll talk a little bit later about the timelines related to that. The third component that we want to talk about is the self-hired staff. In order to obtain the necessary information to make payments, this will require a one-step survey for the self-hired staff wages that will be completed by the fiscal intermediary. The survey will be issued in mid-June within the next few days, and it will allow almost 4 months for completion with a due date of September 30th, 2023. Once the surveys are received, retroactive payments will be based on survey response and actual billings for each self-hired service. It will be the responsibility of the FI to determine distribution of funds where there are multiple self-hired staff for an individual in the same service. And similar to the support broker fees, it's going to be the responsibility of the FI to ensure a budget amendment is approved with an effective date of 10/1/23 or earlier so there is no gap in the COLA. And also similar to the support broker, the FI will have 3 months to distribute the funds from the date of payment from OPWDD. So Jason, if we could just go back to the timelines on the previous slide for 1 second. So based on this information, we just want to highlight the following dates. So related to the budget amendments, as we noted earlier, OPWDD will not pay for the retroactive COLA with state funds beyond the September 30th date. Therefore, it is critical that budgets be approved with a 10/1/23 effective date in order to maintain the continuous payment of the COLA where applicable. In order to guarantee a 10/1/23 budget effective date, the FIs and support brokers need to get a correct budget to the regional office no later than August 1st to guarantee that effective date. This gives everyone 2 months since the date of the budget template release to get them submitted to the regional office. In terms of timelines for the retroactive payments and the survey and attestation information, the support broker attestation is due to OPDD no later than 8/31/23. By submitting this document, you will be attesting that you're going to determine an individual's choice in increasing the support broker fee, and then based on that decision, you will distribute the funds and/or return them to OPWDD within 3 months of payment. The self-hired staff survey is due to OPWDD on 9/30/23. This allows 3.5 months for the FI to work with the individuals and determine whether they choose to apply the 5.4% COLA retroactively for the periods after 4/1/22. Based on the attestation and the survey responses and actual units billed, OPD will issue payments in November 2023 to the FIs. Jason, if you could just move to the next slide. So the flow chart that you see here summarizes the process and may be helpful in identifying due dates. I understand it's very small on the screen, and we can issue a single document, so you have this. It includes all the dates that we talked about in the presentation, and it explains what each one means. So we think, this was one of the items that was asked for in the previous webinar, a flow chart of the process, and we're hoping that this is helpful to you in completing this exercise. So I just wanted to talk about next steps for everyone. In terms of next steps, everyone should expect to receive the materials in the next few days, starting tomorrow. The self-hired staff survey is FI specific and has been pre-populated by OPWDD based on current FI billings. So that may take a day or two to get them all out to everybody from the mailbox. So you should be expecting to see the information come from the mailbox that you'll see on the final slide. For any questions that aren't answered by today's presentation, you can refer to the presentation, which will be distributed, the FAQ, and then if you have additional questions, you can send them to the self-direction COLA mailbox. Jason, could you advance the slides? And you can see the mailbox on the slide that's presented now. So this is where you'll receive the information to fill out, the attestation, the self-hired survey, and this is where you can also ask any questions. We will have people monitoring this mailbox on a daily basis, and if necessary, what we will do is we will issue an addendum or a revised document for your reference to the FAQ if there are questions that are not specifically answered in what we have distributed. At this time, we wanted to thank everybody for their participation and their patience as we work through this process. It continues to be our goal to allow the retroactive reimbursement, and we're hoping to do it in the most efficient and effective way possible. Thank you.